You're watching CBS News Los Angeles, The Rundown.
Hello, I'm Juan Fernandez. Here's a look at your top stories. We're tracking wet weather in parts of our region this afternoon. Let's take a live look at our Mount Wilson camera right now. This storm is also expected to bring some snow to our mountains. And now a live look at Malibu. You can see that heavy layer of clouds along the coast. Let's turn things over now to meteorologist Olga Ospina for your next weather.
Hi, Juan. Yes, and we have some rain out in some of our areas. Some of you are dry, though, so let's take a look at the latest with our radar. Some of that moisture already moving in, and we'll continue to see that as we head into later tonight. A little bit of wet weather through parts of Ventura County, moving into parts of L.A. for places like Santa Clarita, right along the 405, moving into parts of the coastal areas along Beach, seeing a little bit of rain. We're dry across places like Glendora into Chino Hills, so it's really hit and miss depending on where you are. As we head into Orange County, some rain for Laguna Niguel into Dana Point and San Clemente as you travel through the 5 freeway near PCH, and the Inland Empire not too bad at this hour either. So as we head into later today, you'll still see a little bit of wet weather for that evening commute, but not bad at all. A few cells moving through more on the moderate to heavy side, but again, those move through very quickly. This is a pretty weak storm, and it's going to really bring us some drier conditions already as we head into later tonight. So we will continue with some dry conditions as we head towards the middle of the week. Rain totals are going to be very much on the lighter side, about a few tenths of an inch. We could look at up to about a quarter of an inch for some spots. It's not going to be a big rainmaker, but we do have those gusty winds for the higher elevations, mountains, deserts. You'll be seeing gusts in that 30, 40, even nearly 50-mile-per-hour range. As we continue into the early part of Tuesday afternoon, things start weakening. But we do have wind advisory in place for the mountains of Riverside, San Bernardino County, gusts nearing 30, 40, even close to 50 miles per hour. And we'll keep that in place through Tuesday at noon. Rain chances, we dry out for the middle of the week, and then things start to pick up once again as we head into the weekend. As another storm, this one's a colder storm dropping down from the Gulf of Alaska, starts to impact us by the weekend. Again, here's that first storm today. Things are going to clear out Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, even most of Friday. By Thursday, we're starting to see a little bit of rain for Northern California, and then it starts to impact us as we head especially into Saturday. And then as we head into early next week, we are drier, but this is going to bring us low elevation snow and, of course, those cool temperatures for the rest of the week. We're coming off of a pretty warm February weekend. We're looking at numbers mostly in the 60s. Wednesday, that's going to be your nicest day. Sunshine, numbers back in the low 70s, and then we cool down again for the weekend, low 60s and even some upper 50s. Juan.
Olga, thank you. A new study is sounding the alarm on a crucial ocean current that could affect global weather. Scientists warn AMOC in the Atlantic Ocean could collapse as it continues to weaken. KCAL News meteorologist Marina Jurica explains what it all means.
A recent study once again warns of the AMOC, which stands for Atlantic Meridional Overturning Circulation, weakening under a warming climate, which could potentially suffer a dangerous collapse. Now, how would this affect global weather patterns, including right here in California? Well, let's dive a little deeper. Now, AMOC is a system of ocean currents that circulate water in the Atlantic Ocean. Think of it like a conveyor belt, moving warm water up to the north and then cold water back down to the south. Now, this circulation system helps regulate climate by distributing heat across the entire globe. And ocean currents actually balance water around the entire Earth. And like a game of dominoes, if a change occurs, it affects everyone and everything. So why is this happening? The AMOC system relies on warm surface water and that cold water that's very salty that sinks to the bottom of the seafloor, which in combination keeps the current churning. And as the planet warms, melting glaciers and ice sheets are adding fresh water to this delicate system, which is diluting the salinity that's in the water. Now, the fresher the Atlantic Ocean becomes, the weaker the AMOC becomes until you reach these critical levels. And since these currents affect global weather patterns, it could potentially cause colder temperatures, severe weather in some regions, disrupting weather patterns, and even affect marine ecosystems and fisheries, causing significant disruptions to marine and human societies alike. Odds are low that this is going to happen in this century, at about 5 to 10%. But the consequences are too great to turn a blind eye to it and not make changes for our future.
Marina, thank you. A 3-year-old girl is in the hospital after being shot in Santa Ana. She's in critical but stable condition and is expected to survive. KCAL News reporter Jeff Nguyen is working on the investigation.
Jeff Nguyen here in Santa Ana, and right behind me you can see there is a car, and it has been pierced by a bullet right there. The police department here in Santa Ana says that it happened at about 8 o'clock Sunday night. The car was driving through here when a man shot off 3 shots. So it struck the car back there as well as a second car. What's significant about the second car is that there was a 3-year-old and her 4-year-old sister sitting in the back seat. The 3-year-old was struck by gunfire. The police department says that the shooter was on foot near the intersection right there. In this area, you can see that there are a number of security cameras as well, and that has been a part of the investigation. But this is a very residential street, a lot of apartment buildings here, so they have been able to talk to a number of witnesses. Now, the little girl and her family had driven a few minutes away from here, and when they came to a stop, the little girl was crying and told her mother that she was in pain. She was also gasping for air, and that's how her mom knew that she had been shot. So at that point, the mother drove directly to Children's Hospital of Orange County, otherwise known as CHOC. She went into surgery, had a number of surgeries. We can tell you at this point she is in critical but stable condition. And right now, detectives believe that this shooting was gang related. The reason for that is because the mother's boyfriend was sitting in the front passenger seat, and detectives believe that boyfriend was the target of the shooting. Right now, investigators have not shared who the suspect is, and they haven't shared a description of the suspect. We can also tell you that the shooting is about a block from a nearby elementary school. We spoke to a number of people in this area. One of the fathers of 2 students at the school picked up his children today. He says that this morning families got a text message about the shooting, and they were told that the shooting was not related to anyone at the school. Detectives are telling us that the people that were targeted in the car, or at least the man that was targeted, as well as the mom and the 2 little girls, do not live in this area. We are told that the mom was here to visit family, but they do not live in this area. So we will have more on this and the latest on this investigation for you on KCAL News beginning at 4 p.m.
All right, we'll see Jeff at 4. Meantime, breaking news right now. President Biden says he hopes a ceasefire hostage deal to pause the Israel-Hamas war can take effect by next Monday. The president says his national security advisor is telling him that they are close to reaching a deal, but they're not done yet. So we'll keep you posted on this major breaking story. This has been CBS News Los Angeles, The Rundown. I'm Juan Fernandez. Thanks for joining us, and we'll be back live at 4 right here on CBS News Los Angeles.